Hey, welcome back to Lovett Film. I'm your host, Jamie, and thanks once again for choosing our podcast. If you are here for Rachel Marsh, you're in the right place. She was just in Fallout. Now, Fallout, guys, whoa, what a show. Really, really good. I'm a big fan of the games, and we had two of the actors from the show on so far. We've had Adam Faison and Rafi Silver, and both of those actors were just so cool. You know, they were really going heavy into the lore of Fallout. They both were playing the games and stuff like that. So it's great to see that the cast is so into the lore of Fallout too, because us as fans, we love Fallout. We love the game. So we're talking to Rachel Marsh, who played Claudia in season 2. I saw on IMDb she's going to be in season 3 as well. So we haven't seen the end of her. Spoilers if you haven't seen Fallout Season 2, but we find out that our character did not die in the Rad Roach scene. So, you know, Norm, played by Moisés Arias, was carrying her out into the wasteland, and, you know, I want to know what happens, but also she can't tell me what happens. So there's a lot to it. Anyway, let's get talking to Rachel Marsh. But it's very nice to meet you. Fan of yours. I recently became a fan from Fallout. You know, I thought you did a great job in that. Just such a good show. Like, oh
Oh
my
my
God.
God.
Yeah.
Yes, I know. Me too. I was such a fan of it. So it's cool
Yeah.
to be in it?
Yeah, I know. It's brilliant. But I have lots of questions about Fallout. But just before that,
Sure.
I think for the people watching too, how did you become an actor? I know I read online you're a comedian as well. So, like, how did you get involved in
Yeah.
this crazy world?
Yeah, it's funny. I grew up in a very small town in the US, in Washington State, and I went to a lot of theater growing up, but I never knew anyone that was an actor. I wasn't really in that whole world? And so when I moved to LA to go to business school, I was like, well, maybe I'll pick it up again, at some point in my life, because that's where everyone goes, to become famous or to get into the industry is like Hollywood. And I think I had this like really I don't know, this really disillusioned idea of what that was going to be like. And so I didn't actually get into comedy or anything until after college. I had some friends who were actors, and then I just started going to shows at this improv space in LA called UCB. It's a big improv theater here. And just started, yeah, doing shows and loving that and realized that this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. And um, it was so fun to be on stage and make people laugh. And um, yeah, I think because I come from the stage world and really no idea what auditions were like. I had to get into acting classes pretty quick when I started getting auditions, and that was a whole new world for me too. And so uh, the pandemic, I had booked a couple things, but nothing like super big. Like I was on like in the States, there's like NCIS, which is like
Yeah, I've seen
kind
it.
of
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, 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 things
It's
like
very big
that.
in Ireland as well. I think that show is
Oh,
big
is it?
everywhere. Yeah, yeah,
Really?
yeah.
They have NCIS Ireland?
No, we don't have that. It'd be a bunch of leprechauns go, he killed him. It's not like that.
Oh
No.
my,
But we have
oh
your
my God.
NCIS, but we just have it on our TV channels.
Oh my God, I would watch that. Uh, Um, but no, yeah, I just started kind of auditioning and then got really lucky with this one show called Unstable. This Netflix show was my big show that I was on for 2 seasons, and that was so much fun. Some of my best friends I made on that show, and then from that I started auditioning for other big stuff. So I got this show called Morning Show, which is a big show here, and then Fallout, and uh, I do this kind of like more indie show called Adults, but I'm just a guest on that, and yeah, it's been fun. I have a film coming out this fall called The Love Hypothesis. It's going to be for Amazon, and it's one of those book to movies that it's going to be for the fans of the book for sure, but it's really cute. So, yeah, that's kind of my my film and TV journey a little bit.
You make it sound easy. I'm sure it was very difficult to get, to where you are. While researching
Yeah.
you, Rachel, for the interview too, like I heard you say since you brought up improv, you said you got to
Yeah.
know when to get out. What do you mean by that? Does that just mean where you go too far and you're like, Jesus, I need to just stop now?
Well, this is kind of my philosophy in life too, is just kind of know when you need to get in there and support your teammates. That can be on stage or it can be on acting too. If someone's like, you know, eh, there's so many different types of actors that I've worked with, and some of them really like to participate with you, and some of them really are in their own world. And so I think being kind of a self-aware person, actor or improviser, you have to be aware of like what that person needs and wants. And so in improv, when you get into a scene and you're supporting it and you're supporting the game or whatever, and you feel like, you've done enough and you want to kind of create space for someone else to kind of also get in there and like yes and you. I think that's like really magical in improv when like I see someone doing that. Because it feels so collaborative that way. But in the same way in acting, it just feels like polite to kind of be there if someone needs it and also not be there at all. Like if it's a really emotional scene, like I'm not gonna make the scene about me, even though I have like the same amount of lines or whatever. Know when to like pull back a little bit.
Yeah, that makes sense. And is it the
Yeah.
same with like when you're trying to be funny too when doing comedy and stuff? Like, is there a point where you're like, oh, this joke maybe isn't working or this, bit isn't working? You're like, I gotta, reel this in.
Yeah. I I think that that is definitely the instinct, but then specifically with improv comedy, if a joke isn't working, it's still a choice. And so you have to keep making the same choice until it's funny. Really, like you have no choice but to keep doubling down on it until it gets funny. Because you already made that choice, right? You can't like cop out on it
And
then.
sometimes maybe if something isn't funny, that could just make it funny over time, right?
Yes, totally. And that's your teammate's job, really, is to pick up on the fact that the audience didn't respond to that, to bring it back later on in a way that is funny, you know?
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, it's kind of magic when it works really well.
I'd say so, yeah. And I'd imagine like scene partners are so important when you're going into shows like Fallout. Like, first of all, our
Yeah.
audience, we have huge Fallout fans, myself included.
Really? Oh, in Ireland, really?
Oh yeah, Fallout is huge here. Like when we had Dublin Comic Con, which is the capital city of Ireland, I
Yeah.
was there like doing press and stuff like that. And the amount of people in vault suits and stuff like that, I'm sure somebody
Really?
was Claudia, like it's
Oh my
very big over here,
God.
yeah. So like I'd,
That's
I'd
cool.
imagine, acting across people like Moises, or maybe we had Adam
Yeah.
Faison on the show as well.
Oh, love
Yeah, I
Adam.
mean, it must be just so cool when these people are so into it as well. But before we get into all
Yes.
of that, how did you
Yeah,
get
yeah.
the role of Claudia?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I had auditioned for it. Yeah, it just auditioned for it. It was one of those. Are you an actor?
I'm not an actor, but
No.
in Love of
Okay.
Film, we're obsessed with what you guys do, whether it be actors, directors, composers. We just get as
Yeah.
many of you on the show as possible, just for
Yeah.
fans of film and TV or
Oh,
theater to figure out your guys' secrets and stuff like that.
okay, cool. Well, that's awesome. I mean, I'm such a fan of it too, so yeah, we're similar in that way. But so when you're acting and you don't have a lot of agency in what kinds of shows you get to be on because it's kind of up to like producers or casting or actors. But when you get an audition for a show that you're a fan of, it's like almost too much pressure. You almost put too much pressure on the audition because you're like, I have to do really well. And that is usually when you don't do well.
Yeah.
But for this one, it was that scene for Claudia where she's kind of tearing up about like her dog dying and kind of like her whole family is gone. And like, it's like where her and Norm kind of connect a little bit and the
Yeah.
audience can kind of be like, oh, they're gonna like have each other's backs for this season. Um, and so yeah, it was that scene and we shot it like late that night because it was due the next day, I remember, which is crazy. But we shot that, and I was kind of like, "Oh, I'm really proud of this tape, but like, it'll probably go to like a famous person or something, because like shows that are that big, they sometimes offer it to like people who are already famous." So I was waiting to hear back about a different show, and I ended up booking both of them at the same time, which was awesome,
Wow.
and and I ended up being able to do both. So, yeah, it's so fun when you get to do, like I keep saying, you get to do a show that you're a fan of. It feels so surreal, you know?
Yeah.
Like, and yeah, it was kind of that easy. I actually knew, I had known someone on the producing team of Fallout because they were also on the team of this other show. So I found out later that they also put in a good word for me. So like things like that happen all the time too here, where it's like you have to like have a really good tape and you have to have someone being like, oh, they're a good actor, you know?
Yeah.
It's like the further you get in this career, the more you like really do start to rely on like people's word a little
Yeah,
bit.
no matter what you do, it's good for somebody to be looking out for you and have your back,
Yeah,
big
totally,
time.
totally.
And that scene too, where Claudia and Norm are, well, Norm walks into the room, right, and Claudia's tearing up, and she's like, "Oh, I have a cat named Puppy." Like you can tell
Yeah.
straight away that, oh, hold on, she's not like Adam's character, Ronnie's. Like she's actually normal, you know, like she has some
Yes.
humanity. So you knew that from the audition that she wasn't a
Yeah.
crazy like the rest of them.
Yes, totally. Well, because they're very like secretive, when you audition for shows like this. And so I didn't have any context for it, but I was like kind of, as a fan of the show, I was kind of like, okay, I think she maybe works for Vault Tech. And like, I think maybe like she's following his storyline. Like they didn't even like say his name, like in the sides in the audition scene, like it was like a fake name for Norm. And so I was like, I think this might be a fake name for Norm. So I like kind of tried to like put it together. But yeah, she definitely is. I mean, to what I believe for Claudia, I think that she's like earnestly trying to be a friend to him. And I guess we'll see for next season, like what that means or who she turns out to be, or if it's who I thought in my head. I have no idea. But yeah, it's exciting.
Yeah, I mean, she was revealed to be at least breathing at the end of the last episode she was in with
Yeah.
Norm carrying her away,
Hmm.
and I was so happy too because in a show like Fallout, you don't know who's gonna make it to the next episode, let
I
alone the
know.
next season.
I
Like,
know.
so when Norm went into the room and Claudia appeared to be breathing, I was like, yes, I really want to see if like a
Yeah.
relationship forms from these two
Yeah.
characters.
Yeah.
I find the whole thing so interesting. When you did your first big scene, like that we saw where Claudia wakes up in the cryo chamber and she's in the vault, and it's
Yes.
sort of she's
Yeah.
blind and it's kind of like she's in shock because as
Yeah.
we said, she has this humanity. What was that seem like to film? Because I mean, from what I heard from Adam Faison, it was a real set, right? Like I mean, it was
Oh
like
yeah.
you were really in a vault.
Oh my gosh, the sets were like probably the most shocking to see in person because we shoot them, yeah, here in LA, and the sound stages are huge, like the biggest, like largest scale show I've been on, where the vaults are true to size, right? So it feels like my vault, I could like very easily get in there and like I could feel what it would have been like to be frozen for,
Yeah.
200 years or whatever it was. And it was really cool because I'd never shot on film before. And it was really exciting to get to see how that changes, like the performance or like the direction or whatever. And it really was just a lot more rehearsal. So it was just kind of like we'd rehearse the scene like 4 times, which like in a regular show, you don't get the luxury of rehearsing that much time. So it was cool to be like, oh, like they're not wanting to like waste film. They want to get it right in like 2 or 3 takes. So yeah, it was cool to see that even with the scene so dialogue light as us waking up from the cryo freezer. And it was just really fun because the director was able to be talking throughout the whole scene, whereas obviously they don't get to do that in any normal dialogue scene. So yeah, I had to really like it's funny when you have to pretend to like be drunk or pretend to like wake up or
Yeah.
be, anything like very like mundane that you experience but is out of your control, like waking up. You have to like remember what that's like physically in your body. So it was really fun.
Yeah, I just love like one of her first lines as well. She was like, "Somebody ate my welcome crackers." Like
Yeah.
that's such a human thing. You're like, "Where's my crackers?" Yeah, it's like it's funny. Like filming on film is so cool too because like all of your guys' performances, they're gonna look
Yeah.
great forever. Like I mean, you look at
Yeah.
movies from like the 70s and 80s, all done on film. They still hold
Yeah.
up when they're remastered because of that.
Gosh,
So
yes.
yeah, so it's
Totally.
great that, Fallout's being made that way. I mean, just going back to like the lore of Fallout. I mean, you said you were a fan. Were you a fan of the show or were you familiar with the video game world or anything like that?
Just the show. I know. I've watched my friends play the video game and that's
They're
super
really
fun.
long. Like they're so
They're
long.
so long.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
know.
unless you're like 14 and you're like, yeah, this is gonna be my second life after
Right.
school, you're not gonna be a diehard fan straight away.
Right. Yeah. I should though. I feel like I want to do
It's
that
a commitment
just for
though.
the
It's such a
experience.
commitment. Like
How long is it?
oh,
Like
they're
month?
so long. Like we actually have next week coming onto the show the voice actor who did all of the lines for the game,
Oh,
right? So, I mean, I found out online it's something like pages and pages. Like you'd probably be 6 foot tall worth of pages just from the dialogue.
oh
So,
my
I mean,
God.
unless you have all the time in the world, I don't think you're gonna.
Yeah,
You wouldn't get far in it, you know?
I know. That's true. Yeah, maybe I'll do it as a bit. I'll do it as a
Yeah.
bit. Put it online somewhere.
You could like go
I
onto
want
set
them.
with like a PlayStation or something and go, can I set this
Yes.
up?
Oh my God. I want them to make Claudia a character, and then I could play Claudia.
You never know. They brought Walton Goggins' character into one of the online games now.
Did,
So
right?
yeah, you never know. You never know. So going back to the show too, uh, your scenes so interesting. You get these such as we were talking about sets. Like I mean, you have the vault,
Yeah.
and then at the end, I believe of that episode, you guys go out and it's L.A. and it's all just the
Yeah.
wasteland.
The
How
wasteland.
did you
Yeah.
guys film that? As in, was that like outside? It looks like outside.
Doesn't it look cool?
Yeah, it
It
looks
looks
amazing.
amazing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So from like the vaults, they had you know, like the ladder when we're like climbing up with our backpacks on up, like that's all practical, that's all real. Um, and then when arm gets to the top, they just cut, obviously. Like he's like looking up as though he's looking up into the wasteland. Or like the little tunnel that gets him there. But then when they cut, the flip side of that was we went to like this really like desert. I forgot what city it is, but it's like deep LA somewhere, this like wasteland where you can look over in the show you're looking over the beach, right? Like Santa Monica Pier or something. And in real life it was just like a bunch of like dump trucks and like gross like LA like landfill. And so yeah, it was like we had to like hike to the top of like this like sand hill, and they had created this set to look like they had created this piece that was where we were hiding out when we come out of the vaults. So that was all practical too. That was all real. But obviously there's no tunnel going down to the vaults. So yeah, that was a full day where we just were at this location doing that one scene where we come out one by one into the wasteland and we go to look over Santa Monica Pier. But because it was like, you know, sand, it's so tricky because of all the footsteps and things like that. So there were like 8 sweepers sweeping the sand
Like
all the time
continuity and stuff like that.
for
Because
continuity.
yeah,
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 yeah.
wow.
And
Wouldn't have even thought of that. That's fascinating.
totally, yeah. And there's just like so many camera angles of that shot because they weren't sure how it was going to piece together. So like, yeah, but I think that they really captured the essence of like, for me, I had seen the world before only like to me like a few weeks ago, you know, and uh and for Norm, you know, he had never seen anything like that. So I thought that was such a beautiful moment for him to like when they zoomed in on like his point of view. But yeah, it was a really fun day. We just got to be outside the whole day.
That's so interesting, yeah. And you hear like one of the other people from before saying like, "Oh, the mall's gone," and he's just looking out at this thing that
Yeah.
you guys think is disgusting, and he's like, "This is beautiful." Yeah, it's
Yeah,
such a good scene.
totally.
I love the scene too, where it's following on from that, where you guys are like finding the mac and cheese, and you're going around the trucks, and
Yeah.
I think it's the first time we see this humanity coming from Claudia, where she's like, "Oh, I drove on that bridge last week for a job interview," and that's your first interaction with Norm.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what was that like for you acting across from Moises for the whole show? I'd say as a scene
Yeah.
partner, he's such a good actor. You're a good actor. It must have been
Totally.
really really rewarding
It
going back
was,
and forth.
yeah, it was fun. You know, when you first start working with someone, it's always just like this period of figuring them out and like what your relationship to them is going to be. And for him, it's so easy because he's so consistent, you know? And it was really fun to act alongside of him because he obviously has like this internal struggle that he's dealing with for the whole season arc. And I think Claudia is realizing that he's struggling with something, even though she doesn't really know this guy very much, but she's also struggling with something, you know, which is her family all being gone. And so, yeah, it was fun to act alongside him because I think we both, as actors, had like a very clear point of view and like what we were trying to do or like who we were thinking of, you know, personally, and like what we wanted to accomplish in the scene, even though we had very different things to accomplish. It was fun because, um, yeah, he just, like I said, just so consistent, like such a good actor. It's just fun to work with someone who's that relaxed and in it.
Yeah, I was thinking too, like I could imagine filming in LA and stuff like that. The vault suit is, you know, I'd imagine very warm to wear. Is it
Mhm.
uncomfortable? Is it comfortable to wear or?
You know what? It's not uncomfortable. And those days were actually days in LA that were not super warm. And so it was nice to have it. It was kind of like a little jacket.
All
Um,
right, yeah.
And on set, it's freezing. So like the days where we were in the vaults, like it's so cold all the time. So it's nice to have something long sleeve.
I'd imagine. The props are so cool too. Like when you guys are walking around, every
Oh,
single one of you guys have the Pip Boy on your arm. I
right.
mean, as a prop, when you're walking around, is that made of rubber or does that have a bit of weight to it? Or sorry for the interruption. If you are enjoying this video, why not leave a like, subscribe to the channel, click the bell notifications, rate us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Follow us on all our socials at Lovett Film. Help us grow so we can keep giving you guys interviews like this or many of the other interviews. We've interviewed people from GTA, Red Dead Redemption 2, Fallout, Dexter, you name it. More coming right here on Lovett Film.
It's so heavy and you have to yes, and you had to go. There were like the props team is amazing on Fallout. They know what they're doing. They have such an eye for like if anything is off, they just are so in tune. But there's a whole table where you go to get your Pip Boy off before like you use the bathroom or like anything. Like you can't pull down your suit until you get the Pip Boy off. So there's like a whole table where like they have this whole procedure. They're like doing surgery and like removing it like very like meticulously. And it's heavy though. Like it's really heavy because there are little iPhones in there. Yeah. And
Oh,
it's
for the
like,
screen, is it?
yeah, for the
Oh,
screen, they're
wow.
iPhones. Someone's like charging them all the time. Yeah.
That's so clever that like to get an actual thing up there the whole time. I mean, we have a lot of nerds watching this who love the props and stuff like that and
Oh
want to
yeah.
do cosplay and stuff. So it's great to get
Yeah.
that insight. But it's crazy that they would do like a whole procedure to take it on and off.
I know because they want it to look a part of the
Yeah,
suit, and it is.
it's so interesting. You know, another part I really loved in your scenes is when after say Norm and Claudia have that moment in the office where they're talking about, oh, you've never had a drink, I'll go get you a drink.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
not sure if it was the next episode, but it's meant to be like all connected where Norm's getting dragged out, and then we have the rad roach scene, which was
Yes.
what the hell. Well, I
Oh
mean,
my
what was
God.
that like to film? Because imagine filming on film, you'd have to get it right. Like, was
Yeah.
there a lot of rehearsal and choreographing and stuff like that?
Yes. And stunts. Yeah. Um, yeah, I love this other girl who's in the show, Sydney. She's such an amazing stunt performer. And yeah, she was the one who had to have the rad roach eat her neck basically, and then she like fell at the elevator. Um, but there was so much rehearsal for that because like, in Fallout, everything they like to do practical as much as they can. So there were these guys with these sticks and these, rad roaches on them, like flying and like trying to eat us. And then, they would throw rad roaches as we're running down the hallway to make it look more realistic. And then I remember one of the stunt guys actually tripped and they kept it in there. So it was just like very collaborative on like how you would actually run from something. Like obviously those aren't real, but like I'm sure there were other things that we were thinking of that could be real that you'd be running from. And so it was kind of scary, like to be honest, because it was like you had to have some sort of terror, as you're running from it. And then when we got to the room where like everyone died, that was crazy. That was crazy to shoot because that was just like so much blood. They would just throw blood on us to make it look better for camera. And there were like I don't even know, maybe like 30 people in that room. And it was just chaos. And it looks like it. You can tell. Like we're
It
like
definitely does. And for like a whole sequence like that, where I know there's cuts in between and stuff like that, but it feels like one take the way you're like going from one crazy
yeah,
moment to another. How
yeah.
long does that take to finish? Like, is that one day? Is that a couple of days?
That was one day. Yeah, we did
Wow.
that whole scene in one
That
day.
must have been an
And
intense
yeah,
day.
it was really crazy. It was just like a lot of running. That day I was really hot on set. And like honestly props to the stunt team because they did take after take where they would just like lock all the stunt people in the room and then be like, "Okay, go crazy." And there you can tell that shot when you see everyone like jumping around. That's all the stunt people just doing like backflips or like running into like the door or like having like things thrown on their back and having to fall off, like on their back and like they did that over and over again. Um, but yeah, it was so fun. It was just like I don't get to do drama very much, and so I was loving it. And I'm like, this is so cool because there is some comedy in Fallout, obviously. Like it's a very funny show too, but I think like people would categorize it as a drama, and it's like it's fun to be a mostly comedic actor getting to do. a drama piece.
Yeah, I'd imagine so. Like, I mean, it's just, I love that you guys do everything so practically as well, because it feels so real. Like, even we were just
Yeah.
mentioning that there was people doing backflips behind the door.
Yes,
It's insane to me. It's insane. I
I
mean,
know.
what a cast too. I mean, the whole, obviously you don't act across from everybody. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
there's so many subplots, and whether it be Aaron's
Yeah.
subplot or of course the ghoul and stuff like that. There's so many different things going on. But did you get to meet any of the interesting people who were in this season? I mean, Macaulay Culkin is
I
in this show.
know.
It's like what? And the press was all at Christmas time, so it was kind of like a thing with what is going
Magical.
on? Yeah. Did you get to meet
I
anyone
know.
like that? Maybe at the premiere even?
Just at the premiere, yeah, I got to meet everyone at the premiere, but I don't know. I'm really hoping that, whatever next season brings, I hope there's like a big meeting point for a lot of the characters who haven't been able to meet each other yet. You know, that would be really fun. But no, I really love like Ma June and Barv. Like those women are such good actors too. It was so fun to act alongside them. Like they've been doing it for, a long time and they just they have such a sense of ease when they're on camera, and it was kind of like, oh yeah, I forget that's how you're supposed to act. Like they
Yeah.
reminded me, they challenged me to be a better actor on set, I think. So but yeah, them and who else do we yeah, we're kind of siloed in our storyline really this season with Norm. We kind of like went on our own journey. So it'll be interesting to see if we ever cross paths with anyone else next season.
Like even if not, the whole time, like for us watching the show, we were kind of just like your parts were so good, as in the team of
Thank
the
you.
people from the vault. We were
Yeah.
just like, oh my god! Every time it cut away from you guys, I was like, no, I want to see what
Yes.
happens. And even at the end,
Oh,
another
thanks.
cliffhanger. You're just being carried away by Norm. I was like, ah, but that's what
I
makes
know.
it so good. You know,
I know. I'm like, does she die instantly? Or does she keep going on the journey? We don't know.
we
We
don't
just
know.
got,
We don't know
I know.
what's it like. As in, of course, you can't say anything about
Yeah.
season 3. I don't want to get you in trouble here,
Sure,
but
sure.
like if you had to describe season 3 in one word, maybe, and what maybe
Yeah.
we can expect, maybe one word, what would it be?
To be completely honest, I haven't seen any scripts.
Wow,
Any scripts. Yeah, nothing.
that's
Nothing.
insane. Was it like that for the season 2 you were in? As in, did they not give you the full script? Like, did they only give you your parts?
All we know is a start date for when we're shooting later on this year, but um yeah, I don't know any scripts. But yeah, they didn't give me the rest of like the script when, even in season 2, because they just didn't want the stories to get leaked at all, which totally makes sense,
Yeah, yeah.
So I wouldn't even know, like I didn't know her complete storyline when I was starting to shoot, episode 2. I didn't know where it would end episode 7 or 8, wherever it ends. Yeah.
I suppose that could be good too, because you're kind of like, you get to really focus on your character and you're not getting
Yeah.
distracted by like all
Yeah.
of the Mr. House stuff. And the
Totally.
plot is so gigantic. Like I
Yeah.
was just thinking there, who else we interviewed from the show, but like Rafi Silver was on the show, who
Oh
plays
yeah.
Mr. House's double, and it's like that's such a completely separate plot. They could be their own show almost.
No, totally. Totally. Which is like cool to do for TV because I feel like that's usually like a Marvel thing, or something.
Yeah.
And it's cool to like see the vignettes like on like a prestige show. I'm like, they should like show Fallout in like movie theaters. Wouldn't that be fun?
It definitely would. Like, are you aware like how big it is too? Like, even in the States, like what I see online, like you guys have like a Fallout festival where it's literally just Fallout. I've seen in the States. I thought it was like AI or something when I was first looking. I was like, what the
I
hell is
did
this?
not.
But somewhere in the States, they're doing like their own Fallout festival. Like that's how big it
Really?
is. It's like a
That's
phenomenon.
so
The
cool.
game and
I
the
mean,
show.
yeah, I saw that like Deadline article about like the hours like viewed too that like Walton posted, and it was like it was crazy. Like people just like love the show so much, and I'm just so proud to like have a part of it. It's so cool.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, going off Fallout too, like you were talking earlier, yeah, where you were doing another movie on Amazon Prime, right?
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
can you tell us
Uh-huh.
about that? As in, like, did you shoot this
Yeah.
already, or?
Yes, yeah, I'm so excited. It's called The Love Hypothesis, and it's Ali Hazelwood wrote the book, and it just like took off. It was like her most famous book now, and so this movie, yeah, Amazon bought the rights for, and we shot it in Montreal this summer, and it comes out I can't say when it comes out, but it's later this year. Yeah, which is so exciting, and it's yeah, it's gonna be It's gonna be really good. It's Lily Reinhart is a lead,
Oh,
and Tom
cool.
Bateman is the second lead to her, and they're fantastic, such good actors, and we all became good friends. And yeah, it's gonna be good. Jabuki White is so funny in it, and Nicholas Duvernay is very funny in it too. Directed by Claire Scanlon, who did Set It Up, and she did People We Hate at the Wedding, which are like rom-com movies for
Do
Netflix.
you
So
prefer doing stuff like that, or do you like doing bits of everything? Like, or is everything kind of
I
like its own thing?
I like to find like it's so funny how like similar they all are, to be honest. Like I feel like for what I get hired for usually is to be like a comedic like best friend, which I am grateful for because I love doing that. And in like this in Fallout, I wasn't really doing that. So that was like something very new for me. So that was like the part that was challenging. But like the comedy in it, I was like very comfortable with, and like the drama in it was so much fun for me. But like for a show like Unstable or like Love Hypothesis, it feels like very familiar and like in a way that feels easy for me. Not it wasn't like easy to shoot it, but like in terms of the type of role that I did, it was very like familiar.
I get you. It makes
Yeah.
sense too. And like, just going back to more like actory questions, because we do have a lot of actors who watch the show
Oh,
and
cool.
they'd be
Yeah.
interested about stuff like this. Like, I have one here from the team. What was the best and worst advice you've ever received from a director? Now, obviously, I'm not asking you to name what the director or
Yes.
who the director is, but
Oh my gosh, that's funny. The best piece of advice from a director, I've gotten a lot of really good pieces of advice. Um, someone said to me early on in my career, let the camera come to you, which was really like sounds so easy, but so life-changing because an actors like a lot of the times will try to like control the scene or try to like really come across as like, if you're crying, you try to come across as sad, or like if you're trying to be angry, you try to come across as angry instead of just like having an image or like having something that you're thinking of and like letting that pressure go of like trying to be perceived as something. So letting the camera come to you is something that I think about very often. Um, and in terms of like something that a director said to me that wasn't good, I don't have a specific saying, but my pet peeve I can give you, which is sometimes directors, which I love, will be like, do it however you want, like a take. If like they have the scene and they're like, okay, now it's your turn. Like, don't take my advice, do whatever you want. And I love that, right? And then I'll do something coming out of like the freedom of that. And then they'll be like, great, do that again, And I'm like, what are you talking about? I can't read. You just told me to do whatever I wanted. I don't know what I did. And so that is
yeah,
my
like
pet
you
peeve.
weren't like, what's the word? Like observing yourself.
Yes.
You were just being
Yes.
free with it. Yeah.
Exactly. I think that's like the biggest like disconnect between actors and directors sometimes is like directors always think that we're like looking at ourselves when we're acting. And some actors are and shouldn't be doing that. But like if you're really in it, you shouldn't be like thinking about what you're doing, right? So that's my pet peeve.
Yeah, that's a good one. And like crying too, as you brought up on camera, like of course, like we talked at the
Yeah.
beginning of the interview, your audition for that scene and follow, and in the episode, you are like your character's crying.
Yeah.
How do you
Yeah.
do that as an like? Does it take you a while to get into that, or can you just turn it on? Or
I know it's interesting because like everyone has their own way of getting into it. And I have maybe it was just because like this is how I was taught to do it, but I always think of I take my time. It doesn't take a long time, but like if you allow yourself to like take like 30 seconds at least, um, it'll be easier. But I always think of like a happy memory that I have, and that always makes me cry like instantly. Like I'll just like it's so interesting. If I think of something sad, it doesn't work. It like doesn't
yeah,
work for me. And so I have to like think of like someone or some scenario somewhere physically that I have a really good memory of and that like just really gets me into it. And it's not something that I think of for the whole scene because obviously like I'm acting to a real person and you have to respond to that person and not have anyone else in your head really. But like it gets me into the moment really well. So that's what I did when I auditioned for it and then in that scene that we shot.
that's amazing advice. So people who want to learn how to cry on camera, think of puppies or something like that.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, think of
something.
puppies.
Yeah,
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 yeah, yeah.
yeah.
But it has to be a specific memory, like something
Yeah.
that you personally felt
Yeah,
really.
that's something that
Yeah.
means something to you. What about
Yes.
learning lines? Do you find that very difficult?
Not anymore. I think when I first started, I really struggled with it, but
Oh, by the way,
now,
sorry to interrupt, but I keep rushing you to
yeah.
another question. If you want to have a sip of your drink, go ahead, you know?
Oh, no, no, no. I like holding. No, I just like to hold it. There's nothing in here. I was kidding.
Oh, okay.
No, no,
It's
it's
a
a matcha.
prop. It's acting,
Yeah, it's a
guys. It's
prop.
acting.
Exactly. Um, I I have this app called Cold Read. Call Cold Read if you want to sponsor me.
Sponsor us as
And
well,
it
Cold Read.
sponsor
It's
Cold
thanks to my
Read.
question.
Exactly. And they literally, you like speak into it. You like put your lines here and you speak into it like that. And then like the reader will or you put the lines in for yourself in your reader, and then you can play it, and then it like picks up on your voice when your last line was, and then it'll say your partner's line, and then you just say your line. So it's like that's like the one app that I use a lot for memorizing my lines, but it's just kind of like a muscle, that you get better at.
Makes sense. Yeah, it's repetition. Like I find it fascinating because especially when you have a monologue or something like that. I've done a little bit in college where you learn and stuff. And it's like,
Yeah.
oh my God. Like I did one audition before going into college for like it was like a
Oh,
Shakespeare Edmund sonnet or something. And I was like,
oh,
how do
cool.
people do this? Like this is so difficult. Like I did it and like the audition was okay, but I was like, how do you do that as a job? So, you
Well,
know,
and that's like a whole other thing. Shakespeare, that's like, yeah, that's crazy.
it's impossible. It's level infinity, you know. Now, another question I want to ask you before we let you go too, Rachel, is
Yeah.
there as we said, there's a lot of actors that watch the show. They want to learn how to get better at auditions, how to get roles, obviously, and navigate
Yeah.
life as an actor. What advice would you give to someone, maybe not just general acting, but if they get involved in like a big franchise, like you're in Fallout, one of
Oh,
the biggest
yeah.
shows in the world.
Yeah.
How do you navigate that and like, control the nerves and just do your best with that?
Yeah. I mean, for me, I think what I have always been on Fallout is just like, I'm just happy to be there. You
Yeah,
know?
I would be too.
Right? I'm just so
Yeah.
happy to be there. And so I think like I really try to like bring that spirit of like gratefulness into set and like into like respecting everyone else who's on the show, like no matter what their role is. Like everyone on that show is so important. Like you don't really think about it, and I know you guys know, but like like props, like you said, like there would be no Fallout without them. There would be no Fallout without all the costume designers. And so I think it's just a matter of like recognizing that like this is a set with like the same amount of people, on it and jobs as like a sitcom comedy. So they're really like similar in that way. And like everyone's just like trying to have a job in LA at this point right now too. And so yeah, and I'm not the only one. Everyone on that show is so grateful to be there. Like from like the directors to like the showrunners to like all like the main actors. Like it really is a show where everyone is, to me, it feels like everyone is grateful for the work. So yeah, I think that kind of karma really does like pay off sometimes.
I mean, we all love it, I mean, myself
Yeah.
included, our whole team, we love the show. We really want to see your character in season 3 as well, and hopefully
Thank
she
you.
survives. I think she will. That's my
I
guess.
hope
There's gonna
so.
be a
I hope
relationship with Norm and Claudia. I'm telling you now that the
so.
sparks are flying. Now, I'll
I
leave you on
mean,
this final question, Rachel. If you could play any other character in the Fallout series, maybe like Ella Purnell's character, the Ghoul, whoever it be, uh, who would you pick?
oh, I want to be in that suit. I want to be
Oh
in
yeah, Brotherhood
the
of Steel,
armor.
power armor.
Yeah. Do women go in there?
Oh yeah, yeah, big
They
time.
do?
In the games, and I think in the show as well. Like it's, I think the Brotherhood is meant to be like this proper like dumb
Right.
sort of thing where they're not educated. But in the games and all, like there's everybody in it. So
Oh,
yeah, yeah, yeah. So
oh my
definitely,
God. I want to get in there at some point and like not even like I don't even have to be on TV in it. I just want to know what it feels like, Because they're
yeah.
practical and it's like
That's the thing. It's a real suit. It's so cool looking.
so cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. Maybe I want to be in the Brotherhood. That's it.
That is such a cool answer. Honestly, Rachel Marsh, it's been so great talking to you and getting to know
Thank
you.
you too, Jamie. Yeah.
Like I really appreciate you coming on. Anytime you want to come onto the show, talk about
Oh,
new projects, actory things, you're welcome anytime. It's
yeah.
been great. So have a good day and thanks so much for coming on.
Oh my gosh, you too. So great to meet you. Thank you.
Thanks so
Well, have
much.
a good one.
Have a nice
Thank
day.
you.
Hey guys, it's Carl here. Looking for more Fallout? Check out our interviews with Adam Faison and Rafi Silver. Support the podcast and like, subscribe, follow, or wherever you may be. I'm the editor, by the way, for the show. Okay.